Do you believe it's fair for Nash to be out as the Nets head coach?
Well, you're asking the wrong person that question because I was a person that never believed that Steve Nash deserved the job to begin with. An incredibly nice guy, an incredibly accomplished basketball player, but has never coached on any level. And so the fact that he was given the job to begin with was something, as you recall, Molly, I lamented from the day that he was hired. Having said
Absolutely.
that, an incredibly nice guy, class personified. There's nothing negative to say about the man as a person or even as a basketball mind. But to be a coach, particularly one with zero experience on any level coaching, you've got to be in an ideal situation. And Kyrie Irving is not an ideal situation. As spectacular as he is as a talent that we all know, a superstar talent, absolutely box office, worthy of $50 million a year if you only took into account his on-court performances, we all know that's not what comes with Kyrie Irving. There's always going to be something. When you combine that with the fact that that's Kevin Durant's guy, and Kevin Durant, because of fear that he would not vibe with the franchise if they were to go against Kyrie Irving, is something that Kyrie Irving used to his advantage throughout his entire time in Brooklyn. So this was chickens coming home to roost. This is the first of several moves that will be made. Steve Nash had to go. They're the worst defensive team in basketball. They can't stop a cold. We all know that. But then when you combine that with the fact that Ime Udoka was available, because as far as I'm concerned, as you recall, when Ime Udoka suffered his suspension at the hands of the Boston Celtics, I vehemently stated, fire him or keep him. But it should have been an HR matter. It was none of our business, okay? It was a private matter. It never should have been publicized, and you're jeopardizing this man's career. So the fact that this man now has an opportunity to come and coach the Brooklyn Nets, I think is a huge plus. And remember, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about how Steve Nash could get fired and Ime Udoka could come on and be the coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and lo and behold, it's on the verge of happening in an official capacity. That's exactly what they need. It's their last salvo. We'll see how it works out.
To answer the question, is it fair for Steve Nash to be out as Nets head coach? Yes, it is fair. It's very clear that he had lost this group. And I've been to 3 Nets games already this season. The body language has been terrible. The effort has been terrible. Exactly. The communication has been terrible. This was the right move. I don't know why they waited 7 games when it was clear. It has been reported, a bunch all summer that they wanted Steve Nash out. I don't know why they waited. His job had a timeline as soon as this season started. If there was going to be a tough stretch, he was going to be gone. Now, the better question to me is, did Steve Nash get a fair chance? October 1st, 2020, before he ever coaches a game for the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie on KD's podcast. I don't really see us as having a head coach. KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach. KD chimed in. Jacques Vaughn could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort, I think, on our part. Now, I get the part about it being a collaborative effort. That's what the NBA is. It's a collaborative effort between ownership, the front office, coaching, and the players. But publicly undermining the guy before he ever coaches a game, that's not good. Secondly, Spencer Dinwiddie tears his ACL. They trade all of their depth, Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, Karis LeVert, for James Harden. Was that Steve Nash's fault? Was it Steve Nash's fault that James Harden hurt his hamstring in their first playoff run, or Kyrie Irving sprained his ankle, or Kevin Durant's toe was on the line? This guy was 94 and 67. I don't buy the notion that he's some terrible coach. He wasn't the right coach for this group. And lastly, I just want to say one thing. The idea that he didn't deserve the job, come on, man. He's a 2-time MVP, Hall of Famer. Doc Rivers, Steve Kerr, Derek Fisher. There's plenty of precedent for bringing in a guy that has never coached. And Stephen A., I'm going to be honest with you. When I transition into coaching, and you get up here and say, I don't deserve the job, I'm going to call you out on it. The 2018-2019 season, that was, I think, Sean Mark's 4th year as the GM. And he inherited one of the worst possible situations in professional sports history due to the Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics trade in 2013. And he spent those 4 years building a culture, developing young talent. Look at the guys they developed. Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie. He made a great trade, took Mozgov's money back from the Lakers to get the number 2 pick in D'Angelo Russell from the prior year. They end up getting the 6th seed. The reason that the Brooklyn Nets were so attractive to Kevin Durant and to Kyrie Irving was because of that culture and because of that young depth. Jared Allen, another example of that. And they have spent the last 3 seasons helping to dismantle that culture, helping to dismantle that depth. They wasted $10 million on DeAndre Jordan. That $10 million could have been used for a useful player. They insisted that DeAndre play over Jared Allen. Jared Allen is an all-star right now. So, yes, they shoulder some of the blame, but shouldn't some of the blame be on the Nets organization? Marcus Spears last year used the word capitulate. I'm going to steal that word. We have seen it time and time and time again, the Nets organization capitulate to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I stand for players, but there is a danger in taking it too far, and this is a great example of it. What has happened with the Nets since they signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving is a great example of player empowerment gone too far.
JJ Reddick is 100% right. Kyrie and KD are responsible for their own demise, and they can't even look in the mirror and take accountability. They said at the beginning of the year, we don't need a coach, but then right away, they try to blame the coach and get him fired? How does that make any sense? Kyrie and KD played a role in every roster move that was made. Whether they told him directly or signed off on it, they agreed to every part of the team that's been assembled. So how is it when the team doesn't work out, KD doesn't have help, he says, I don't want to mess around with just Ben Simmons, how is it that he blames them for that when he was the one that helped assemble the roster? Other than last game, Kyrie has had a great start to the season, but he just started doing this. He could have been doing this every season for the Nets, but it was always something with him. Whether it was injuries or he just didn't want to play, he was proven to be a liability, but he still wanted his money. It just doesn't work like that, and that caused a lot of problems for the Nets, so much drama and so much issues with the team. Even Goran Dragic, who spent a short time with the Nets, said the team was way too focused on its star players, Kyrie and KD. He said it was never a team environment or a team aspect. They focused so heavily on them. And that's coming from someone in the locker room, and it lines up exactly with what JJ Reddick just said. The team focused way too much on player empowerment and trying to make their superstars happy that they forgot how to make the team. They didn't even focus on the team, the culture that they built. D'Angelo Russell, Jared Allen, all those young stars they had, and now they traded them away, but then they focus on just the superstars they got in return, and that's damaging for the team. I think Kyrie and Kevin Durant are finally starting to realize this. That's why Kyrie's playing in every game on both ends of the floor, trying to be a leader and turn this team around, while KD hasn't said a word about the coach decision because he knows he needs to let Sean Marks actually do his job. So my question for you guys, is it too little too late? Have Kyrie and KD already ruined the Nets to the point where they're never going to win a championship, or is there time to turn it around? As always, let me know in the comment section down below, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more NBA content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.